For me, one of the most exciting additions announced in the 2022 Tekken World Tour Finals presentation was the prospect of special style. I can only play up to a handful of characters before the knowledge of their specific play starts oozing back out of my head, so the ability to use special style and expand my character pool is one of the things I'm looking forward to the most in Tekken 8. So when I was able to play the closed beta test, I set out to use special style for a bunch of characters to see just how viable it is. Going into it, I saw two scenarios for using special style. One is to make a completely casual experience, just messing around without advancing the more technical parts of the game, and the other is to be a step towards learning a character by getting a head start on their moves and game plan in matches to supplement the lab work. While special style is a nice alternative to playing Tekken, it is not viable as a replacement to traditional controls, and that's kind of the point. In special style, key moves of a character are mapped to single button inputs and single direction inputs. The one button has the character's quote-unquote special moves. Generally, neutral one is a move that's also a heat engager, back one is a jab string or your fastest attack, down one is a homing attack, and forward one I believe is an advancing or a long range attack. 2 is your launcher. This does not change with directional inputs, no matter which direction you press, it's the same launcher. 3 is your power crush. Again, same attack regardless of direction input. 4 is lows and throws, back 4 being the throw and the other options being various lows. Rage Art and Heat each have their own button also. Including Rage and Heat, you have 12 attack routes in neutral within the special control system. Movement is completely unaffected by special style also, so you can still backdash, cancel, wave dash, everything. Stances from motion inputs are also available, however only the first input registers from those stances, not the entire string. So, make no mistake, Tekken 8 special style controls will never outright replace traditional controls. It is not akin to something like modern controls in Street Fighter 6. In Tekken, there are simply way too many moves with important and specific functions to be encompassed by 10 or so moves. While the heat system definitely eases that curve, playing strictly with special controls is still a massive disadvantage. You don't really have strings anymore, or checks like one jab, dig jab, down forward one, so the mind games and small Tekken are almost completely absent. Stances are mostly gone as well, so if you're playing a stance character like Raven, whom I played during this test, you'll find that special style can't really translate their unique strengths or even their game plan. Punishment is also gutted. Say your opponent uses a strong punishable attack. You block it, so now they're like -14. Your character's selected launcher is 16 plus frames. Your character's chunky 13-14 frame punish might not be available. In some cases, you can punish with the heat engager move, in others, you can only punish with the jab string, so very limited punishment damage. This completely skews the risk reward in your opponent's favor to abuse those moves. Add the fact that the opponent can also see when you're using special controls.
It's free real estate.
But you don't need to keep special controls on. You have the ability to play normally and toggle it on or off at any point during a match when you need it. So the question becomes, when will you need it? Special controls are helpful if you don't remember your character's key attacks, like power crush or homing moves. But imagine actually using it that way in a match. You're getting pressured, chipped down, and you can't think of your opponent's power crush to get this guy off you. You're gonna have to press special controls, then press power crush while successfully blocking the highs, mids, and lows coming at you. Same for homing moves. Would you want to toggle special controls in neutral to try to land a single homing attack on a moving opponent? I find it very awkward, and I suppose it can be done. I think it's just safer to do it at a distance, which is not really what you need for in those specific situations. And then there's the aerial combos. I'll spend a little bit more time here, as the combo system is the crown jewel of special style while also being, in my opinion, a huge missed opportunity. As of the closed beta, the buttons must be mashed in special style as soon as the opponent is launched. Any delay whatsoever will cause the normal moves to come out instead of the can juggle combo. It takes a bit of adjusting to, since it's typical to time your hits after launching your opponent for aerial combos in Tekken. It's also not possible to launch your opponent normally and switch to special controls just for the contextual juggle combo. Only the special controls normals will come out in that case. That said, there are real triumphs in the aerial combos and special controls because it truly is a robust system. After launching the opponent in special style, mashing one of the face buttons in succession will cause an aerial juggle that is unique from the other buttons. The combo also changes depending whether or not you're in heat or in rage. Tekken has many factors that can cause you to drop a combo, such as the angle of the opponent when launched, the distance to a wall, the angle of the wall, the shallowness of the launcher, the size of the opponent, and just timing affected by online connection. To have access to contextual combos that are guaranteed in many of these circumstances, if not all, is simply incredible. And I'm sure that's the reason for how juggles currently function in special style. This feature, however, is essentially locked behind needing to play special controls in neutral, which I hope is clear by now just how disadvantageous doing so is. This was disappointing for me because, as someone who already grasped the basics of Tekken, not needing to worry about learning juggle combos when starting a new character was the one thing I needed special controls to do. Tekken is a deep game, and mastering its characters is incredibly satisfying, but that mastery takes time, and rightfully so. The time investment definitely prevents me from playing a bunch more characters, even though I find the majority of them so interesting. When Tekken DLC characters come around, it's like, damn, here's more cool characters I won't have time to play, why should I even bother getting it? I think this problem with DLC characters affects Tekken a little bit harder than some of the other fighters because of how deep and complex and huge their move lists are. I was hoping for special controls to alleviate that, but it really does not, and I get it. The Tekken team may want to have players commit to special style for access to those juggle combos, so it doesn't diminish the value for players learning combos a conventional way. After all, why do the combo trials if you can invalidate them by mashing a button?
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you
We don't care.
I might lose some of y'all this, but at the end of the day, it all comes down to damage. I don't care if some wood rank hits me with a launcher and dials an easy, flashy special styles combo. I get launched, I eat the damage. The issue is when said combo damage is high enough to always replace conventional combos, because in that case, it would not be right. In all of fighting games, players must weigh their ability to use optimized high damage combos versus consistent or easy low damage combos. Since special control combos are both easy and consistent, they should be on the low end of that spectrum. It is a proposition of balance. So here are my overly simplistic suggestions. Add more launchers. Not sure why there's only one, but I think it makes sense to have various launchers with the directional inputs similar to the special moves. Expand the window of time after a launch that special style triggers its juggle combos. Allow players to use special style combos after the opponent has been launched in arcade style or traditional style. Ensure a sizable damage penalty for special style combos. I think they already do that, but I didn't test it specifically, so I'll have to double check. I think another improvement would be the special styles display itself. Despite the combos changing with context, the display itself does not change after launching an opponent. It's not clear here that you can mash the other buttons after launching with 2, or triangle in this case. It'd be nice to show what combo options you have and what the actual timing window is for the juggle combos when it reverts back to display the ground options. I suspect the display would flash too quickly to be legible now, but it would be useful in conjunction with my other suggestions. That is, of course, they keep the entire display at all. It's very interesting that whenever special styles is turned on, both players can see when it is activated, along with the entire menu of options and when they're pressed. I'm not sure if that's something they're going to keep with the full game, but I would hope that we have the ability to either turn that off, or it's replaced with an icon or something a little bit more subtle so it's not distracting so much when you're in the fight.
ですね。なんでイメージ的にはこの自転車の補助輪的な感じで、スペシャルスタイル操作で慣れてもらって、ちょっと自分でも、切り替えてアーケードスタイルで練習してみようかみたいな感じで補助輪をつけたまんまのプレーと外してプレーを動的に切り替えながら遊べるっていうのが、今回のスペシャルスタイルの、特徴になっています。
でも中上級者ぐらいでも割とうまく組み込んで使えそうだけどね、新しいキャラやるときとか、確実にやりたいときとかはピンポイントで使えるから、割と幅広く初心者から中上級者まで使える仕組みかなと思うけどね。
My suggestions might differ from their vision of special style, but we also know that they want this feature to also be used by intermediate and advanced players. If special style is to have any use for these players, we need the ability to toggle it on after a conventional launch and use its contextual combos. Right now, special control combos are guaranteed, or close to guaranteed, likely due to that timing restriction for when they activate. Opening up that restriction also means that their combos might not be guaranteed anymore. Knowing this, I would still much rather have the ability to use these combos, even if it means the combos do less damage, even if there will now be scenarios where they do not work. I think it's better to allow players to find out which combos will land and which will drop, since that is reflective of how combos are actually discovered. Like always, players can learn the better combos at their own leisure, after understanding the character's game plan better, after wanting to convert more damage, or even not at all. There is a case where I think special controls are viable, and that's when you really don't want to play Tekken. That's not a jab. One of the goals of Special Style was to create an action game experience, and I think they've done that wonderfully. Playing entire matches with it on feels like a different game. Let's call that game Tekken Light. Playing Tekken can feel like a demanding experience, needing to assess all your offensive and defensive options in real time while being able to accurately execute on your choices. Even in unranked play, there is a bit of pressure we put on ourselves to perform at least somewhat decently. That also makes it difficult to branch out to different characters like I was saying before. But that's not so much the case with Tekken Light. The controls are so simple and consistent that I had no hesitation jumping right into matches with any character. Can I compete against conventional Tekken players with equal skill? No, not really. But it's not impossible, and being at such a disadvantage also makes it easy not to take the game as seriously. So taking losses in Tekken Light doesn't feel as bad. Tekken Light can also be fun when both players are playing it, since it's an even playing field. Because it's not a separate mode like Tekken Ball though, that might be hard to do as an online warrior. You'll probably need to play Tekken Light with a friend or make some kind of gentleman's agreement with a random online. In summary, I think Tekken Light, or Special Style, is a robust and welcome addition to the game. It's great for newcomers in lowering the skill floor and getting right into the mix with any character's most iconic moves. After that, its usefulness kind of drops off, as you'll eventually need to ditch it and learn from scratch anyway if you want to play Tekken fully. Since it's more of a switch than a graduation, I don't see much use for it for intermediate and advanced players as it is right now. Here I just wanted to express the opportunity to make it more usable, so it stands with the other features added in Tekken 8 to make the game more accessible for newcomers and veterans alike. If you made it this far, thank you so much for listening, and let's get a discussion going for Special Style. Have you used it? What do you think? How are you going to use it? And would you use Special Style to play more characters? With some changes I think I would, but if not, then I feel like it might be relegated to just an extra thing that everyone kind of ignores, which would be a shame. Anyway, thanks again, and have a good night.